Melanie. Andrew
Hi.
Bretz, ADP.
Melanie Mills.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to
Oh,
meet
of
with me
course.
today. Did you do anything special for the Easter holiday, Melanie? or-
I just had a dinner with my family. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, nice. Where are you guys located at?
Perrysburg, Ohio.
Perrysburg. Okay, that's nice
Yeah.
and close. So that
Yeah,
wasn't
for
too
sure.
bad. Oh, that's nice. I actually drove all the way out to, or all the way back to, rather. I'm from Pennsylvania. So I
Okay.
drove all the way back to Erie, which is northeastern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
About a 3.5, 4-hour drive. But it was
Very
great.
nice.
I spent the entire weekend with my family. We had a nice dinner on Saturday and a nice brunch on Sunday. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah,
That's
it was
great.
really nice. It was really great. Do you have any special traditions that you do for Easter? or
We've
anything?
actually started this new thing where we start exploding peeps in the microwave. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
been
That's
a little
interesting.
crazy.
That's nice. Well, Melanie, I'm sure we could sit here all day and talk about Easter, but you only have about 15, 20 minutes, so we'll get right into it. Before we get started, is there anybody else that you think needs to be in here with us?
No, just myself.
Just, okay. Sounds good. Well, I'll get right into it. What if I could offer you a payroll solution that would allow you to dedicate a little bit more time and effort to your employees on the sales floor, as well as give you access to your payroll from anywhere? Would that be something that would interest you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a few questions to start off. So what is your current payroll provider? What are you currently using?
Currently we're using QuickBooks.
You just use QuickBooks?
Mhm.
Okay. And do you have somebody in-house that...
Yeah, we
is
have
taking
an
care of
HR
that?
manager that's taking care of that.
Okay. How much of time a week would you say that they're spending calculating the actual payroll and processing it and making sure everything's okay?
Probably about 6 hours a week.
6 hours a week. And are you on a weekly or a bi-weekly pay schedule?
We are on a bi-weekly.
Okay, so 6 hours bi-weekly. Or is it 6 hours
It's 6
per
hours
week?
a week,
Okay.
but we're on a bi-weekly schedule.
Okay. So what are some things that you like about using QuickBooks? Or
I just like that it's been pretty easy. I just have to input all the information, and then it tells me what to do after that. It came with a manual, so if I have any questions, I just look in that manual. So yeah, it's been pretty easy to use.
okay, is there anything that you're not too happy about with it, or anything that you'd like to change about it?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like it doesn't schedule the team members the way I would like it to.
Scheduling issues. Okay.
Yeah, and that can sometimes make the team members a little bit unhappy.
Does it affect productivity or?
Yeah, I mean it can.
Okay.
I'll sometimes have to go and override some payroll issues. So, yeah, for sure.
Have you ever had any situations where you were out of the office, maybe on a business trip or something, and there was an issue that arose in the payroll that you had to get to that you weren't able to access right away?
Mm-hmm.
Have you
Then
ever
you
had
have to
that?
call people and
Yep. So that's how
Right.
you handle that? Was you just called people in the store, and
Right.
so you had to do it all over the phone?
yeah,
So I can imagine that would be pretty inconvenient.
yeah. Our system's all in store, so I had to find somebody who was there to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. How many employees do you currently have in your store? We're just outfitting the single location, correct?
Yeah,
On
I
Monroe
have
Street?
about
Okay.
50 employees.
About 50 employees. Okay. And I'm assuming they're on an hourly wage.
Yeah, they are.
Or for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Melanie, the ADP Run application is available via any web device, so any mobile or computer device. So it's available on the OS X, which is the Apple platform, the Android, as well as BlackBerry, and you can access that from anywhere. So anywhere that there's a computer or your smartphone, you can take care of your payroll problems, or
Okay.
any issues.
Okay.
Also, there's a preview that immediately comes up after processing, so employees are able to view their paycheck immediately after processed. So
Okay.
if there are any issues that would arise, they can be dealt with immediately. So that's just a little bit about the ADP Run. Let me take you through the pricing real quick. So you said you had about 50 employees.
Mhm.
Okay. There is a one-time implementation cost of $150, but after that, since you said you have about 50 employees, the rate for you is going to be $68.95 per payroll processing.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how that differs from what you're
It's a little
currently
bit
doing,
more expensive.
but yeah, most companies don't seem to have too much of a problem with that. I'll let you. Would you like to hold on to that?
Sure.
So you can take a look at that later.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, what I'm going to do is I actually have the application on my phone. I'm going to take you through a demonstration of the app, just so when you are to purchase, or if you are to purchase, so you know how to do it.
Okay.
This demo mode comes on the app, so I just downloaded this from the App Store,
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an option to run the demo mode. There's also a guided tour.
Okay.
So maybe if you have some employees that aren't as tech savvy, the guided tour will help them just kind of go through. So you see there's 6 main options. You have your payroll option. The employee option, which stores some biographical information as well as some payroll information from your employees. And then the reports, where your actual payroll reports will show up. The doc vault is something that you don't get automatically with the app,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll have to pay for it separately. And what that does is that's just if there's any company information, any company documents that you feel could use a little bit more security, you can go ahead and use this app to store them, and then you have the layers of protection provided by ADP to ensure that your documents are safe. The HR checkup just gives you just kind of what's going on with the hiring practices. So it gives you proper hiring practices as well as proper ways to analyze employees, so that way you can hire the best possible fit for your company.
Yeah, that's great.
And then the HR dictionary, which just basically gives you some terms that are commonly used within human resources.
Okay.
So what you're going to be doing most often on here is the payroll. So I'll take you through and kind of show you how to work that section of it. It gives you 2 separate options of how you can go ahead and calculate it. There's the regular week, or there's like a special week.
Okay.
So an employee that has to take time off or for a holiday or vacation or something like that, you're going to go with the special week.
Mm-hmm.
But the regular one is what you're going to be doing most often. So I'll just go ahead and take you through that. Once this loads up, you'll see it's got information such as the check date at the top, so the day that the check is actually being sent out.
Okay.
As well as you can manipulate the start and end period of the check.
Oh, that's great.
And then you can either turn the direct deposit on or the direct deposit off for that pay period, just depending on, I guess, your employee's preferences. Then at the bottom, you'll also notice cancel, which obviously would just take you back to the previous page. Delete, which would get rid of all this information, allow you to re-enter, or finish later. So if there's something, a pressing matter on the sales floor that you need to get to, you go ahead and you can just take care of this later on.
Okay.
And everything up here saves automatically, so you don't have to worry about exiting out prematurely
really nice.
and losing information. Right.
We've done that before.
So once you get started here, it gives you a breakdown of your employees. You can see both salary and hourly wage employees. So most of your employees aren't an hourly wage, so I'll just show you how that'll show up. So you can see for Will Harrison right here, we've got his hourly rate, as well as you can put in any other compensation information such as overtime, any sick hours, vacation hours. Then you go ahead and you hit preview, and that's going to calculate it for you. And that's going to bring up the total amount at the top, total amount of payroll that you're going to need for that period, as well as a breakdown per employee for how much each employee is getting paid. So you can go ahead and just double check that and make sure everything's okay. And then you just hit approve, and it'll just ask you again, just double check, and then you're done. It'll take you back to the home page. Oop.
Nice.
There you go. Yep. So, I mean, how long do you think that took? It definitely was not 6 hours.
Yeah, it took about 2 minutes.
So, do you think that based on the information you've heard today, you think you're ready to make a purchase?
I'm not sure. I've been using QuickBooks for about the last 2 years, so I'm just not sure if I need ADP.
Okay. So basically, you don't see where there's an exceeding value in the Run program as far as in comparison to QuickBooks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or? Okay. Well, Melanie, some of the things that I went over earlier, such as the 24/7 access from anywhere, you mentioned that you can only access it in store. With ADP, you would actually be able to access it from anywhere, so that would probably save you maybe not as much money, but definitely time and alleviate some stress.
Okay, so what I could access it using like my phone, or
you can access it using anywhere that you can download a mobile application, any smartphone, any computer, any tablet, anything. So you could be in the airport on your way to somewhere on a business trip and you could be taking care of some payroll issues. Also, you mentioned that you have to manually put in a lot of the information for QuickBooks, and you're paying that employee for 6 hours worth of work.
Right.
So that employee could be on the sales floor, assisting customers, helping them, and providing target or trying to get with a better company image.
Right.
So they're out there, taking care of employee concern or customer concerns, as well as other employee concerns, because the HR team leader. So hopefully the amount of time that they're spending on, more productive issues would also save you a little bit of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that alleviate some of your concern there?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned because at Giant Eagle I have a lot of team members that don't necessarily use apps and things like that. So I'm not sure if ADP is difficult to use if they're not super tech savvy.
Okay, so you're just concerned for the employees that may not have access to smartphones or just don't have smartphones in general?
Yeah, and just if they're going to be able to use it.
Okay, well, as I did mention before, and when I went through, there is a guided tour version of the demo app. So in addition to there being a demo edition of the application, you can actually go through and it'll give your employee a guided tour. Also, the app is set up in a pretty user-friendly way where once you get going, the next step isn't too hard to figure out. Everything is basically clearly labeled. So there's not a whole lot of options as far as what you have to do next. It's all pretty straightforward. So even if your employees aren't, incredibly tech savvy or used to using applications, I think especially after they go through the guided tour or the demo, they'll definitely have a decent grasp on it. And definitely with...
So they can just use the demo and be taught how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yeah.
That should help.
So Melanie, are you ready to make a purchase today? Do you think you've heard enough information?
Andrew, I really like what you have to say. So I'll make a purchase today.
Okay, sounds good. Well, if you'd just like to sign right here then.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, Melanie, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh,
it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So how do